Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're still here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham. And while we're in Gresham, we want to talk about a special project that is going on here. It's the Gresham Tsuru Island in Main City Park. And there's an island in the park, you say? I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know that this even existed, and I'm finding out all sorts of interesting things. And so, Tomiko, you are the chair of this Gresham Tsuru Island Restoration Committee, right? Tomiko
Yes.
Takeuchi, thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, you're so welcome.
And with you, Jim Card, who is the landscape designer. And you're both very, very involved in working on this project, aren't you?
It's become beyond, I think, a passion.
Yeah? It's become your life, has it?
It has, and it's nice because there's kind of, we're very different. I'm not much of a garden person, and of course, he's our garden guy. So the stuff that I don't want or can't do, he's able to, you know, do that part. So it's a great team.
I bet you're a good team. Well, and I heard you laughing since the minute you walked in the door, so I know you get along great. So, Tomiko, why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of this? Because this is not a new project. This is a restoration of a very old project.
Yes, in fact, it was built in the 70s by a group of volunteers through JACL Gresham Troutdale. And most of them were Japanese farmers. They had been helping with the city on different projects, going to the different parks and thing and doing cleanup. And then they decided they really wanted to do something that was beautiful and was Japanese.
Tell me what JACL stands for.
Sorry, Japanese American Citizens League.
Thank you. Okay.
I want to make sure there's the L there. And so they just started out, everything was donated and all of the work was volunteer, and they gave the park or the garden to the city. And I think one of the best stories, they brought in 5,000 rocks from the Clackamas River.
Wow.
And 35 boulders from Johnson Creek. And with their pickups and their, you know.
Oh, I bet that was something to see.
I'm sure it was. And then they had pathways that would go, and it took over 800 man-hours just to put in the pathways, which had the rocks that went around. So it was a fabulous project that they did.
Wow.
Then as the years went on, they aged, and there was very little maintenance and upkeep. And Gresham City, of course, had budget cuts. And so then when Jim and I went over June of this year, of 2011, he took one look and he did say, you know, this is very sad that this has gone basically to rack and ruin.
So let me back up a little bit. What was the arrangement after this was built? What was the arrangement to maintain it? Was it supposed to be with the city of Gresham and the group that put it in?
I don't know if it was by choice or plan. We
Or
don't have any records.
default?
We don't have
default.
any records.
Oh, okay.
And I've done a lot of research because I was curious about the history. I've asked a lot of the people who have been left, and I've gone to the city and to Gresham Historic Society, and we're linked with Gresham Sister City Association.
I wondered about that.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the sister city in Japan?
Ebutsu, and it's up by Sapporo.
Okay.
And so through them, we've tried to track the history, and there's been very little of it. Luckily, we do have Kaz Tamura's scrapbook, and he had an original scrapbook, and he worked with Yoshimishima, and he also has some pictures. So we do have pictures from that time.
Oh, good.
And it showed what was, you know, what their plan was.
So are you going to try to restore it as it was, or do something different? Jim, why don't you answer that one?
We are going to do something different, and what that really entails is the removal of a lot of overgrowth and not natural to the area material that has grown up over the 3 decades. And once we've then got that cleared, we would be able to start the new construction of how we would like it to look, which is more of a healing garden with a touch of Japan. And we have been in the process of the planning, getting things in order so then we can work with others that will assist us in
help you achieve that goal. We have some pictures. I think we should probably show them as we're talking about it of some of the cleanup maybe and some of the work that you've been doing. So when those come up, maybe you can tell me what it is I'm looking at here. So how long ago did you start this? Just a year ago?
We actually started the first part of July 2011.
Okay. Okay. Now, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a crane truck from Campbell Crane, who gave us the opportunity to move about 30 very large boulders, wow, some up to 2,000 pounds, over from the main parking lot in the garden, in the park, over into the island. Oh. And they did this in about a 2-hour period. We had all the boulders staged. We had actually found the boulders in and around other city properties, including the park, and was able to have them given to us for use there on the island by the city staff. And in being able to do that, then our big problem was, how do we get them over there?
Yeah.
The bridge wasn't capable of handling the load of the boulder and the equipment that would needed to take them over. And so what we're seeing there is one of the boulders being carried over by the crane. And we had one piece of plant material that was also taken over. This particular day, it was snowing that day. We had some reporter staff on site that were taking some pictures. These were taken by one of our volunteers. And you can see the bridge behind there, and it has an 8-foot wide span, is 50 feet long. But again, it just was not able to handle the weight of things getting over there.
Did Campbell Crane give you a good deal on their services there?
Pretty much pro bono.
Well, that's about as good a deal as you can get.
That was a blessing, to say the least. Wonderful company to work with, and they are certainly giving back to the community.
That's lovely. This is a nice bridge. The bridge I know, but I didn't know there was anything else around it, that was planned.
I think it's probably the best kept secret. And as we've gone around talking to people and looking for help, mostly volunteers, there are a lot of people who come out there and they tell us their stories of they came out and had their high school pictures taken by the bridge. Oh. But yeah, a lot didn't. No one realized what we had there, and it is. I mean, it's lovely.
So what do you need to keep this project going? I mean, I know the two of you can't do it alone, and obviously Campbell Crane has helped. But what do you need to get this going? Do you need financial donations, in-kind donations, volunteers, what?
We'll take anything that anyone would like to give us, of course, but volunteers is a huge issue. And eventually we're going to need to figure out funding, because we need to be able to make sure it's sustainable.
Maintain it afterwards.
And so right now we're doing really well.
That's so pretty.
It is. It's absolutely, it's enchanting. And you get out there and I saw the potential after I went with Jim. Before I hadn't seen much out there and had visited. But yeah, so we need volunteers. We need financial support and a lot of support of people. Whether it be money is always nice, of course.
Of course it is, yes.
But just the support of people coming out and making sure that people aren't in the garden doing mischief.
Now, I imagine it was very overgrown before, so it was probably used for all sorts of unsavory things, I imagine.
Lots of berry vines, lots of natural growth alder. There were trees that were in the garden that we literally could not see because of the overgrowth.
Wow.
And we found some wonderful boulders there. We found plant material that was covered up. And by the way, this picture that we're seeing here is in the fall, obviously.
Isn't that pretty?
And this is at the entrance to the bridge that will take us over to the island. And by the way, the island is created by Johnson Creek. And we have also had the opportunity to work with the wonderful people at the Johnson Creek Watershed Council, and we've had some volunteer projects that included them bringing groups to us. We've had the opportunity to work with several church groups. We have a wonderful core of about 8 to 10 continually showing up volunteers
Great.
that also are gaining a passion for the projects that they're doing, and they're people that are as young as 5 all the way up to 95, and everybody has a limitation, but there's something for everybody that can participate.
And we do have a huge contingent of four-legged helpers too.
I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet they love the island there. And I don't think I realized that was an island there, actually. So it's just, is it Johnson Creek all the way around it then?
Yes.
It's right in the middle of Johnson Creek.
It's overflow, so then it's not surrounded all the time.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to keep it surrounded all the time because
Yeah.
it looks terrific when it is.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So as far as maintaining it then, that's something that you'll be figuring out as you go along. Is that right?
That is what our plan is to make sure that we have enough funding to be able to provide the maintenance. Since we are a part of the city in Main City Park, and Gresham Sister City being they've adopted us, it gives us 2 tie-ins to hopefully the future. I mean, it's not like either of those organizations will be leaving, especially the city of Gresham.
Right.
So we've tied ourselves to some pretty stable groups. And it's a matter of figuring it out. We haven't done that yet. We have a 5-year plan for the garden.
I was just going to say, you're pretty much in the early stages
Yes.
of this.
Early
aren't you?
stages.
So 5 years is kind of your target date for finishing this? Is that
That's
crossing your
when
fingers
we'll
and,
get to what we would perceive as the final stages.
Okay.
And I see it as an evolving project.
Right, it won't
but
just
5
end there,
years
will
will
it?
be
Yeah.
reasonable. I think when we're dealing with grants, donations, volunteer labor, and working with the individuals from the city to accomplish what we all want to get to. The portion of the maintenance is what we're looking for is a 50-year plan. After the rest of us are at a retirement stage of the garden, to be able to allow for that maintenance, and that's where having an endowment that will allow the city to be able to continue maintaining it.
That would be perfect.
And in the beginning, that was one of the city people's main concern is once you and Tamika were gone,
Then
what
what?
happens to it?
Because that's what happened before.
That's exactly
Yes.
what happened before. So with the efforts of the volunteers and so on, we realized that that there's being a lot of effort put into it, and we can't let it just sit there and happen again. So that's what our plan may be.
There's so many great organizations around, in different clubs and organizations. There may be some out there that are watching that might not know about this, that think, maybe we'll adopt that as one of our pet projects and, get volunteers out there to help and maybe, commit to working on that for several years to come. Or maybe some of the high school groups out there, some of the high schools now, they require kids to do volunteer work.
We have a number of them that are doing that.
Isn't that a great
It
thing?
is- it
I
is
think it's wonderful. I
terrific.
think it's a great thing
Yeah,
that high schools
yeah.
do that. See, that's just perfect. But I'm sure you need a lot more because this is a long-term project, and even after it's in the final stages, you're going to have to reassess every few years to see, okay, what's working, what isn't. These plants aren't thriving. They need to go. We need to do something else here. That kind of thing. I
Well,
imagine.
that'll be part of the planning process to make sure that we select the things that are going to do well there. And we're dealing with our neighborhood beaver as well. And he's helping us with the reforestation program.
I love it.
And
Do you have a name for him? You need to name him.
actually, we haven't even seen him yet.
Oh.
We just see the
Once
results
you
of
see
his
him, the
efforts.
name will become obvious. Huh?
During the process of establishing the plan, as it would be, will determine a lot of the things that will do well there. Right now, our big objective is to overcome a lot of the erosion that's taken place over the last 30, 40 years, and replacing that and planting those slopes that go down to the creek with plant material that will
That will not
hold it
easily
in
erode.
place.
Good, good. It'll be, we're just about out of time, but I keep thinking this will be great when you're in the final stages and you can have a group of delegates from your sister city in Japan come over and, like, I don't know what you call it, have a ribbon cutting or something and have them there.
Yes,
Wouldn't
yes.
that'll be great?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and we do hope to have fundraisers that will be able to enjoy the area And especially to show the garden off, because it's
Yes.
going to be amazing.
Well, it's going to be, and it's going to become more of a place for people to go have those
Yes.
wedding pictures and
Yes,
the, you know,
that's
the
right.
graduation pictures and that kind of thing. Great. Well, thank you both for being here. I love hearing about it, and it's an exciting project. So I'm hoping there are people that are watching that are going to want to become involved, donate money, time, whatever they can to help you along with
You're
this
a
project.
good supporting spokesperson, yes.
Good.
Yes.
Thanks. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Community Hotline. I'm glad you joined us here tonight. Remember, we're here every Wednesday night at the same time, and we're also on your internet, so you can watch us there at MetroEast.org. I'm Monica Weitzel. This is Community Hotline.